top. Thank you, Ashish. I was sharing my screen.
Yeah. There's like one month ago. I came here. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Not here last 2 times.
We'll start with the prayer. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Nishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukum Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Parmananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Wonderful. Thank you all for joining today. We are reading Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, text 47. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Karmani evadikaraste
Karmanyevadikaraste
ma phaleshu kadachana
ma phaleshu kadachana
ma karma phala heturbhur
ma karma phala heturbhur
ma te sangostva karmani.
ma te samyosva karmani.
Anybody read the translation? Go ahead.
You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing it.
Thank you. Apparently, from this translation, it looks like a punishment. You are not supposed to do this. You are not supposed to do this. If you do this, this is what is going to happen. That's not the intention here. So, I just want to clarify that because this is a very strong statement Krishna is telling. For an example, when we are severely sick sometime, the doctor is very harsh. Oh, you have to take this medicine, you have to take it at this time, this time, this time, and this is the particular regime you have to follow. You don't criticize the doctor saying that, oh, why are you telling me like that? It's for my good, right? So now Krishna is giving a sutra, it's a formula. What is the formula? Why do we go through the cycle of birth and death again and again and again? Why? This is what is being mentioned, that we have a right to perform our prescribed duty, right? Which is, what does prescribed duty mean? Anybody can suggest what prescribed duty means for us? I know it's a different term altogether. What do you think is our prescribed duty?
And with the take, we are born and grow, study, and then have kids and take care of everything we need to do it as part of our life.
Okay, beautiful. Mataji, you want to add something?
I mean, it's a responsibility that you have already committed to.
Okay, very nice. Beautiful. Shrikant bro.
I think depends upon in which ashrama you are in. Like in currently, let's say I am
Okay.
in Grihastha ashrama, so
Hmm.
what I'm supposed to do as a Grihastha,
Hmm.
or somebody who is in, let's say, school, so what they're
Hmm.
supposed to do as a study.
Hmm.
So it depends upon which phase of life you are.
Very nice. Okay. Beautiful. All these answers are great. When you apply for a job, there are roles and responsibilities. What am I going to do in that role when I'm joining a particular company? That can be referred as prescribed duty, right? And based on what role you are in, that context difference. For an example, if I'm at home, I'm a father, then I have different roles and responsibility. At work, I am so and so, I have different, sorry about it, I'll just, so we have different responsibility there, right? We have a different responsibility there. So here Krishna is talking about you are not entitled to the fruits of action. So one may say, I am working so hard. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with it if I'm saying this is my, say for an example, you go to work and then your boss gives your salary to someone else. You'll say, why? I worked for it. I should get it, right? So one may say, okay, if I do my duty, I should get the results of it. Well, if I do, now one question is there. For an example, we talk about a living body and a dead body. What's the difference? We say the soul is gone. The soul is not there. Is that are you all with me? If the soul is gone, that's a dead body, right? If the soul is there, which is soul is within us, that's why we are able to hear, we are able to talk. But if the soul is gone, I'm gone. So one may say, who is the real doer? Am I the doer? Well, then who am I? Am I the body? Am I the soul? I am not the body, I am the soul. If I am the soul, does soul need to work? Not really, right? Because why do we work to maintain the body? But body is dead. So should I be working? It's confusing statement to be honest, right? But at the same time, to have this body and soul connected, I have to work because I have to run my livelihood. So the question comes in is who is the doer? I am definitely not the doer. That's the point which I'm going to come to. So who is the doer? You will be surprised, even for me to speak and for you to hear, there are devatas who have to sanction. Without their sanction, we cannot hear, we cannot see, we cannot perceive, we cannot do any activity. For an example, from Ayurveda system, anyone who has a digestion problem, they say your Agni is weak. And what they suggest is you worship Surya Dev. Why? Because Surya Dev is the in charge of giving us the energy to digest food. Without his sanction, we cannot do that. And that's why you see some people, even if the same weather is there, some people get very quickly sick, the other people do not. Why? Because the Agni, the energy within the body is way different for one to the other person. And based on that, the astrological chart also comes into the picture. They also tell you in the astrological chart what are your strong planets and what are your weak planets. Okay, do you resonate what I'm saying? Whenever you go to any astrologer, they give you these are your strong planet. Whenever they are there in your nakshatra, you will do well. And there are certain planets which are not good for you. And when they come over, they take over in a various aspects of our life. So what is happening there? Am I the doer? Definitely not the doer. These are the planetary situations which are making these things happen or do not happen. And coming back to this point, when we say we are entitled for the fruits of the action, which means whether it's a positive or negative, we have to reap the fruits of those activities. You're all with me? Say, for an example, if the project is successful, it went live, it created a revenue for the company, you are going to get good results out of it. Oh, you were part of this wonderful journey. If the project fails, something goes wrong. Like recently, I was just part of one call where someone just entered a wrong number. Rather than 26, they entered 226. Just one, two extra. Was a huge chaos. Huge chaos. It went to the CEO level. How come that mistake happened? So you are part of criticism, right? So same thing which Krishna is talking about. If I am the doer, then whatever comes, then I am supposed to reap the fruits of it, whether good or bad. However, when we offer our activities to God, we get away with the results, whether they are positive or negative. And one may say, I don't want negative result, but I definitely want the positive result. The problem with the positive result is, even if it's positive, I have to come here to take the fruit of it. For an example, if you perfect everything, but at the same time you have some karma left, you have to come here to take reap the fruits of that part, right? So that's where Krishna is talking about never be attached to not doing your duty either. One say, oh, where do I do? So not even think that I shouldn't be attached to the duty, and that's what the point is talking about. Please go ahead and read the purport.
There are three considerations here: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoyed in terms of one's acquired modes of living nature. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority, and inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advises that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he performs his prescribed duty without being attached to the results. One who is attached to the results of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the results of such actions. As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three
Hmm.
divisions,
Hmm.
namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performs as an obligation in terms of the scriptural injunctions without desire for results is action in the mode of duties. Work with results becomes the cause of knowledge, therefore such work is not suspicious.
Auspicious.
Auspicious. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to results. Such disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to bypass matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non-participation in the battle is another side of
Hmm.
attachment. Such attachment will never lead one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive and negative, is not good and action is sinful.
Hmm.
Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna.
So Arjuna wants to run away. Krishna is telling, don't do that. Rather, you do the activity which is mentioned as part of the scripture, but don't be attached to the results. Whether I'm going to win or whether I'm going to lose, don't be attached to the result. And what would happen if he does so, and if we do so, because this is not, Bhagavad Gita is not spoken for Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita is spoken for us, which means every activity I'm performing. I'll give you an example. I'm pause here. One of my mentor, um, he gifted me a book. He gifted me a book to read. So the first page, what did he write? In care of his name. And that's the first time I read such line, in care of so and so person. And I asked him, can you explain me? Because our tendency is that, I remember my tendency, when I would go to school, we all get the same books. Whatever grade you go to, you also have a same science book, I have a same science. The first thing which we do is go on the first page, write our name, which means this belongs to me. You're with me? You're with me? The child is born, he has a first name, and attached is the last name, which means he comes in my sampradaya indirectly, in my family tradition. Right? This whole material world is designed around belonging. This is mine, this is I, me, and mine. And he showed me a very different concept that we are caretaker. We are not the possessor. And that's a very important concept. It's such a subtle thing, but understanding in care of versus this belongs to me is a huge difference. Because the moment you think, just change your words in care of, that gives you a higher responsibility in terms of I need to take care of this really nicely because this is in care of me, whether kids, whether job, whether family, whether benefits, or whether facilities, whatever are given. If it is in care of, I take care of better responsibility that way. And the most important part is I am attached as well as detached, because I am not the responsible person, right? This is in care of me and it will go to someone else later in future. This doesn't belong to me. One time there was a sage who came to the kingdom. Earlier times, the sages would visit different countries or different cities, and the kings would rule those cities or whatever province. So he came there, and king offered pranam, and then he said, why don't you stay here for some time? Just for the sake of saying, he said that he didn't really mean it, but the sage agreed. Okay, I will stay here. Where will I stay? So he stayed in king's palace. King was trying to serve him nicely. And then after a couple of days, the sage asked him a question. So who this kingdom belonged to? And he said his name. He said, before you were born, who held this kingdom? He said, so and so, my father's name. Okay, before your father was born, who hold the possession? Then he talked about my grandfather. So he said, that means you're living in Dharamshala. And Dharamshala is a term which is, these are charity, which is very rare now, but charity hotels, what is, do you know, remember what is the name? We call it Charity Lodge. Hare Krishna. Charity Lodge, which is, you just stay free of cost there in holy places like Haridwar and all that stuff. That is not your possession. It's just you're living there for a day, so you are in care of that room, but you don't possess that. Am I making sense? That's the very important concept. The world we live in is the Dharamshala, and we have been given a particular facility in care of, which is an important concept. The moment I lose my life, now it is in somebody else's care of. And if we imbibe just these three words, in care of, that gives us the idea every moment when I'm given certain facilities, I use it in that aspect. I'll give you one very important point, which is to understand when we forget this concept, what happens. So what had happened is there was a demon. His name was Vritrasur. He was killed by Indra, but he was happened to be the son of Brahmana. So, based on the scripture, if someone kills the Brahmana or its son, they have to atone for it. So, the sin personified was running behind Lord Indra. So, he hid himself in the river so that the sin cannot find him. But while he is away, someone has to rule the Swarga because he is the king of Swarga, right? If nobody is there as a king, then the demons will attack. So they were looking, someone should take care of the responsibility until Indra gets out of this problem. So they found a great rishi, very elevated rishi, um, and they felt he is the right in charge until Lord Indra comes. So they request him, and he agrees. Okay, I will take up this position. Now he's a very renowned sadhu, and he is becoming a king now, a king of not the United States. We're talking about king of Swarga. So he went there. Now he started enjoying the kingdom. Now he started enjoying kingdom, and then he felt, I am Indra now. Now what had happened is Indra's wife is there, Sachi Devi. She's very beautiful. He thought, because now I am Indra, she belongs to me. And he requested her, now I want to enjoy you. She said, you are not my husband. She said, I'm Indra now. So whatever I ask you, you will have to fulfill. And she approached another sadhu, which eventually cursed this person who died. But why did I bring this story, which is an important concept? In care of. That's the umbrella under which whatever I'm talking about. It was in care of. He was supposed to rule as a kingdom in care of, but he forgot that principle and he thought, I am Indra. That's the problem. And that's why he lost life. Another thing, there was a rishi. He was a very, very powerful sage. He went into a very higher stage of renunciation. Lord Indra became bewildered because Indra is not a person, it's a position, like I just now spoke. So he thought, now he will become next Indra and I'll be kicked out of my rule kingdom. So he wanted to break his tapasya. So what did he do? He came, disguised himself, came to the arena where the sadhu was performing the tapasya, and he was disguised. He put a sword. Can you take care of the sword? I will come back in some time. So sadhu said, okay, that's fine. So he saw the sword and it was shining brilliant. Let me see what this sword does. He picked up the sword, went near the tree, and hit the tree, and the tree fell down. Wow, so powerful. He started doing all extra, this powerful activities with this thing, and he got attached to that one. He forgot his meditation, and Indra won that because now he missed that whatever has to happen. What was the problem here? The sword was kept for in care of that person. But because he got attached to that and thought that this is mine and I can use it in whatever way, he deviated from his path. Am I making sense so far? This is the important point which I want to bring in here, that one, everything we have is in care of, and we are supposed to use that as not as a ruler, not as a possessor. It's using as a caretaker for that one. Right? So can we move to the next verse? Any comments before we move to the next one? All aligned? Go ahead, Madhu.
Yeah, I was just saying like the attachment to or detachment to the results, right?
Hmm.
It's about like if you do anything, either it's successful or it's failure.
Hmm.
So when it's successful, you should not get an ego or
Yeah, yeah.
say that you have done it and
Hmm.
you are great or above
Hmm.
everything. And then in case if it results in failure, then
Hmm.
you should not get demotivated or depressed
Hmm.
and not do your duties.
Yeah.
So I feel that's what this verse is saying, that you do your duties. It
Hmm.
could result in one of the other ways,
Hmm.
but that doesn't mean that you got to stop there.
Hmm.
You still continue. You shouldn't get ego that you have attained everything and not do it, or there's no room for improvement.
Very beautiful.
Right? You
Very
still
beautiful.
fall. At the same time, when it's a failure,
Hmm.
don't take it as don't get attached to the failure that that's it. You are not capable of doing anything else, but still you put in your effort to move forward.
Very beautiful. I remembered a Hindi song on specific this principle, which is talking about, and again it's a song from that perspective, but it shows a lot in spiritual life. It says, "Ruk jana nahi tu kahin haar ke, कांटों पे चल के मिलेंगे साए बहार के ओ राही ओ राही." What is rahi? Sorry, I'll just spell this out. We are all are exactly the rahis. I don't know what is a. Can you tell me what should be the English word? Passenger. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Both terms are right. So, what is the purpose? When I reach to a particular destination, when I want to reach to a particular destination, there are going to be rosy bushes which I pass through, and there could be thorns also on the way. But if you stop, you will never reach to the destination. So, your role as a traveler is to keep traveling and goes through the ups and downs of their life, which and move forward remembering that's the goal, which means not attached to what had happened. And what, even if something good happens, you're not attached to it. If something bad happens, you think it's Krishna's plan. Very good point, Madhuri. I just remembered. 2.48, yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya Siddhi asiddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Translation, please.
Perform your duty, keep it poised, O Krishna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga.
Very, very difficult to apply, but it is very important being equipoised. So, what is the point which is being referred here is a lot of times when we go through life, very important thing which we forget in life is to grow through life. There is a big difference between go through life and grow through life. The difference between go through life and grow through life is these two verses which we have been talking about. For us to grow and for us to transform, which we spoke multiple times, right? We have to take every experience in our life and we have to see what it has for us, for me to learn from that situation. Now, in that case, whether it's a success or whether it's a failure, based on whatever pastimes you saw, people who got successful, they forgot the real purpose, they were kicked out of that position. But people who are humble and remain at that position, they grow much faster because they are doing that as a duty. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopi Jahan Bhagwan ki jai. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. There is a very beautiful aspect which happens in scripture. It's mentioned, I forgot which Puran it mentions about. So all the sages were sitting and they were trying to figure out who is greatest, whether it is Lord Shiva, whether it is Lord Brahma, or whether it is Lord Vishnu. So they assigned that responsibility to Bhrigumuni. Bhrigumuni is the son of Brahmaji. So they asked Bhrigumuni, you go and find out who is the greatest. He said, sure. So he came first to see Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is his father. Now, based on the principles of family life, based on initially when you go in front of your father, you offer pranam, you seek his blessing. He entered, ignored Lord Brahma. And Brahmaji was so eager to see my son is here after a long time, he is coming. But he literally did not see Lord Brahma. He was like in his own world. So he ignored Lord Brahmaji. Brahmaji became angry. And Brahmaji is the person who has all the knowledge. He became angry. And he started using in the thoughts, he started thinking about what kind of son he is. He was about to curse, then Mother Saraswati came, oh, he's your son, don't do that. So Bhrigumani understood what had happened. So he understood Brahmaji cannot be supreme. Why? Because he got agitated when something did not go as per his desire. Then he came to Lord Shiva. Now, Lord Shiva, you all know Lord Shiva, he wears the sculpts and he uses ashes, he applies all on his body. Lord Shiva is the son of Brahmaji. Bhrigumuni is also son of Brahmaji, which means they are brother. So he comes to Kailash. Lord Shiva is there, and Lord Shiva is so happy to see him. And he runs to hug him. And at that time, Bhrigumuni says, keep far away. What are you wearing? Did you take a bath before you hugging me? And Lord Shiva became really angry. And he opened his third eye. And he was about to destroy Bhrigumuni. Mother Parvati came, oh, no, he's your brother, don't let him go. So what did he use? He used the words. So in first thing, he did not respect Brahmaji, Bhrigumuni. So Brahmaji became angry. Second time, he used the words to criticize Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva reacted. So he said, you cannot be supreme. Now he comes to Lord Vishnu, he comes to Vaikuntha. Mother Lakshmi is massaging Lord Vishnu's feet. What Bhrigumuni does is he comes and hits his feet on the chest of Lord Vishnu. So first one was thoughts, second is words, now actions. He actually kicked on the chest of Lord Vishnu. What did Lord Vishnu say? Imagine he is maintainer of entire universe and multiple universes at certain time. He said, Bhrigumuni, let me massage your feet. My chest is so hard. Maybe your feet would have been hurt. Let me massage your feet. And Bhrigu Muni was completely bewildered. What is the response Lord Vishnu gave it to him? Exactly opposite. He tried to put him down. But because Lord Vishnu, who is actually thinking in care of, I am supposed to be taken care of, I should be the caretaker of everyone. And if somebody does not behave well with me, I have to tolerate. And that is the important situation. And that is the point of being equipoised. Whether someone respects or whether someone rejects, I am not affected. We all know about Bharat Maharaj. We all know about. Um, okay, let me skip that story. Let go ahead and read the purport.
Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga and what is that yoga? Yoga means to concentrate the mind on the supreme value, converting the ever disturbing self.
Hmm.
And who is the supreme? The supreme is the Lord. Because he himself is telling Arjuna to fight, Arjuna has nothing to do with the results of the fight. Gain or victory are Krishna's concern. Arjuna is simply advised to act according to the dictation of Krishna. The following of Krishna's dictation is pure yoga, and this is practiced in the
In the
process
process, God bless Krishna
the
Lord.
process called Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness only can one give up the sense of proprietary. One has to become the servant of Krishna or the servant of the servant of Krishna. That is the right way to discharge duty in Krishna consciousness. Which alone can help one to act in yoga. Arjuna is a Kshatriya and as such he is participating in Varnashrama Dharma institution. It is said in the Vishnu Purana that in Varnashrama Dharma, the whole aim is to satisfy Vishnu. No one should satisfy himself as is the wisdom of the material world, but one should satisfy Krishna. But unless one satisfies Krishna, one cannot correctly observe principles of Varnashrama Dharma. Indirectly, Arjuna was advised to act as Krishna.
So this is a very important aspect that when some instruction is given, and here Krishna is personally speaking. Same way, when we come to bhakti, developing a submissive attitude is very difficult. To understand, I am just whatever is being told to do, I should do that, which is very difficult because we start thinking, oh, I think I know this how to solve the problem. And this is the same thing which is happening to Arjuna in the beginning. He thinks that I can solve my problem, but then realize I'm unable to do that, and he takes shelter of Krishna. Right? So, can we move to the next verse? Any comments or reflection on this one?
I think when you say yoga, yoga
Ah.
is basically to balance your body so that your mind is balanced too,
Hmm.
right? Because unless you take care of the body,
Hmm.
because your whole body is a chemical reaction.
Hmm.
So the yoga basically helps you to build equibalance or
Hmm.
equilibrium,
Hmm.
right? That ultimately helps your mind,
Correct.
which kind of gives you the positive perspective.
That is a good perspective. One of the important point which is referred and good you brought it up. Yoga means connecting to God. Yoga means is to connect to God. Now, what had happened here is that when you dissect that yoga from what is the principle today, these are bodily postures to take care of your body and take care of your mind, which is what you brought in. Go ahead. You want to add something?
No, that's what it's basically, one if your body is healthy and well balanced,
Hmm.
that feeds into your mind.
Correct. However, one of the important principle which we will see down the line where Krishna specifically articulates, mind is the greatest enemy. Now, now the question comes in is, whatever yoga am I doing, is it going to help me connect to God? Yes and no, because the mind is a carrier. If it is, when we bring in the concept of a good dog and bad dog, we have heard that so many times. So, based on what you feed the dog, that's how it is going to reciprocate with that way. So when you perform the yoga, not just thinking from bodily posture perspective. I'm taking care of my body because I am a caretaker of this body. I am the soul, I'm not the body. Make sense? I'm supposed to take care of my body. For what purpose? Not to actually gain more fruits and reap the fruits of those activities, but ultimately come to that higher consciousness of serving God. Am I putting things in context? So the formula which we spoke about, that is just the surface part. Ultimately, why do I want to maintain the body? Why do I want to take care of the body? So that I can use body, which is a medium, to cross over the cycle of birth and death. But if I just maintain my body well, if I take care of my body well, that will not get me out of the cycle of birth and death.
I mean, that's true. I agree that this DNA yoga is used more for just the build out of the body,
Correct.
but the actual purpose of the body
Yes.
was to connect to that
Beautiful. Yes,
point.
we
Because
both are
the,
saying
all
the
the
same thing.
meditation, everything comes into place.
Yes,
And when you say
100%.
serving the God, so what exactly is the definition of serving the God?
Let me give you an example. When we talk about serving the God, or before we get into the example, anything which is offered to God in the mood of service. So, for an example, um, the other day you got the veggies, you brought it to the temple. Without your understanding, you did the service. Am I making sense? You grew those vegetables, right? You spent some money on top of it. You took care of planting that, watering those plants, and that's the fruit of your activity. And you thought, I want to offer to the temple. Now, of course, in temple, where is it used? In God's service. This is a service. This is the best example. Second, I'll give you an example. While you're listening the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna, this is a real situation actually, Arjuna is fighting. You're listening. This is a service. When you come here, see the beautiful form of the deities, this is the service. When you come here, spend your valuable time, like Prabhuji was talking about. He's moving to Rochester Hill, but his desire is to come in person. What is this? This is service. I am thinking, how can I utilize everything in my life in serving Krishna? And what is serving? Serving is an intention. What is the intention behind whatever I'm doing? That is what it counts as a service. Am I making sense, Mataji? So, like Prabhupada, when he came, there was a lady who was a very good writer, and I don't know what is that term which is used, calligraphy. What is? Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, which you can write in a different way. Prabhupada asked her, why don't you write Hare Krishna Mahamantra in different ways, and why don't you write the books which I'm described? Is that a service? Yes. How? Because it is used in Krishna's service. Am I making sense? It's connected to Krishna. Another lady who was very good in painting, very good. Prabhupada said, I will describe the pastimes. Can you paint these nice pictures? She actually created these initial pictures. And that those books, those pictures are there in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So is that a service? Yes. I am using my material skill to serve Krishna. A person who is a good singer can sing professionally. That is not service. When I use that singing for glorifying the Lord, that's a service. Making sense? For an example, this laptop, I can use it for 10 different purposes other than spiritual life. But when it is used in spiritual life, this becomes spiritual. Can you imagine the same substance? When it is used in God's service, that becomes spiritual. But if the same substance is used for not about Krishna, then that's material. But everything you do with the consciousness, I want to serve Krishna as a service. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, like in the example is mentioned about the vegetables, right?
Hmm.
So what if instead of giving to the temple, if you gave it to somebody who needs it, like poor or
Yes,
something?
very good
So
call.
how do you differentiate it?
Very
What is
nice.
the same?
So now this comes into the section of charity. This is not a service. This is, well, on the material plane, it's also a service, but I'm talking about devotional service. So it's not devotional service. You are feeding, which is, there is the poor guy who doesn't have anything, right? So now this comes into the section of charity, which we'll read further in Bhagavad Gita. Charity can be done in three modes: Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. You remember last week we were talking about those three ladies standing, pulling the rod? Now, what happens? You give that vegetable to that person. He eats that vegetable, becomes strong, and say, for some reason, become a terrorist. He kills someone. What would happen? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Am I making sense so far?
I mean, that's a
Go ahead, go ahead. I want to provoke that thought. That's the whole
no.
idea.
I mean, that's a very, sorry to use the word, but a bizarre example, right? Like
Okay.
because
Okay,
you're
let me put another
he's
example.
gonna just by giving once to somebody is not gonna become healthy or become. But what your intention is that the person needed that at that point in time. Otherwise, probably he or she would have gone starving or maybe led to death, whatever, right? He or she really needed it,
Let me put directly the point which I wanted to bring in. Charity given to a wrong person or
right?
wrong time,
Knowingly, right? Intentionally, when you
knowingly
know
or
that you
unknowingly.
deserve,
I
he
want to bring
deserves it.
that knowingly or unknowingly, you will get the fruits of those activities.
I want to add it to that unknowingly, right?
Hmm.
Especially during Thanksgiving and Christmas time, you see TVs where they show
Hmm.
all kinds of food and
Yes,
they take the
yes.
money,
Hmm.
they'll be using that money for something else.
Ah, this is very beautiful example. Yeah.
Or any amount. Basically, it's a use of money, and
Hmm.
we are very vulnerable now. The last 2 years, because we work so hard for 10 months. 2 months we are relaxed, and we want to spend money,
Hmm.
go for vacation, just spend
Hmm.
money. That is the time they catch order.
Hmm.
So paying to those kind of organization is unknowingly doing a bad thing.
But her question, very good. You brought that. Now let's connect both these points together. So shouldn't I do the charity? The question may arise. I don't know what the other person is going to use with that money. Should I do that or shouldn't I do that? That's a question. Charity is a good work. You all agree, yes, it's a good work, but it has to be done to the right people at the right time, and it has to be used in the right way. But I don't know how that person is going to use. The principle is that anything if I do, the fruit comes. I am responsible for the fruit. Whatever way that person does, I'm going to get the fruits of that activity. So that kind of discourages not to do charity. That's why when you do the charity, you do in the name of God. Because what happens is, I'll give you another example. Say, I do donation to the temple. Hey, can you put my name outside that I did the charity? Is the charity good or bad? What do you think?
That
Why? Why?
because you wanted to get a recognition, so it's not
Correct. So that is now the correct. But if the charity is done, I want to keep it anonymous. Ha. Correct. 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 So charity can be sattvic, which is goodness, passion, or ignorance. So one has to be very careful. It's a very detailed chapter. We will come ahead in Bhagavad Gita.
deep. You have deep sense.
Could you bring this and keep bringing such question? I'm not discouraging, but there's a detailed chapter on this aspect. So one has to be very careful what is being given, what has to be given. What I do is, what I was told is, you should always give prasad. But sometimes I don't carry prasad because in the car it may get spoiled or whatever it is. So you say Om Tat Sat. When you give someone, you say Om Tat Sat. This is the escape route. This is not the ideal route, but I'm telling. What does Om Tat Sat mean? I am not the one who is giving the charity. I'm just utilizing this opportunity in care of this person. Krishna, you take care of it. Make sense, Madhavi? With me so far? Perfect. Let's go ahead. Yes. Yes.
Starting with the yoga. So I also was saying like yoga is basically yoga is a Indian word, but somehow in Western countries it was marketed as like
as
healthy
an
lifestyle
exercise.
or
Yeah.
exercise,
Yeah.
fitness. But if we really look at the Sanskrit root of the word yoga, it's
Beautiful.
the yuj means to join.
Amazing.
Uh, so what are we joining to? So something, let's say we know what we are as soul. So when we do yoga, means we are supposed to join with something. So it could be
Brahman. You're
uh,
supposed to have that
or at least
connection.
Yes.
know and then join. But to even reach that state, what it talks about is, yeah, we should be tranquil enough that we don't get affected by other disturbances.
Ideally, to reach that stage, I agree.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think the word is quite complex in my opinion.
Yes.
Not as easy as the Western
Which
lifestyle
is
coach talk about.
beautiful. Yes.
Um, but yeah, its more function is to how we attach or serve in this case. And also you talk about service to God, what exactly it means, right? Like how do we serve? So I think God, there is something called Navavidha Bhakti.
Hmm.
So like there are 9 ways of
Hmm.
bhakti:
Hmm.
Manan, Shravan, Kirtan, Bhajan,
Hmm.
Palm
Very nice.
Sevan,
Yes.
and then Sakhya, meaning being a friend is also a form of serving.
Hmm.
So I think by coming here, we are doing Manan, Chintan,
Very
Shravan.
nice.
So as he said,
Beautiful.
you're coming here, that already means you're serving in a way.
I think for me, like personally, this is my belief.
Please.
Like serving God, God in my opinion, my definition is something that higher energy or something higher power we have absolutely no idea. None of us have
Hmm.
been able to prove or see or do it, but there is some supernatural power in all of our universe, right? So for me, serving God is basically doing something good for somebody without expecting any results or any expecting that somebody is gonna help you or anything. So that's where I feel a service to God is.
It gives you a lot of satisfaction. Doesn't take you out of the cycle of birth and death, which is what I want to bring in here. What you're talking about is a punya. Am I making sense? Good deeds are, you are doing it even with no expectation,
I'm not doing it because I want punya, right?
which is
It is
wonderful.
like
But you will
something
still get the punya. When you want.
probably, yeah.
So the challenge is that
Karma.
good karma. Problem is that karma, I have to come back again. So the next question should rise is, yeah, I want to do that, but at the same time, I don't want to come again because of the karma. That is a karma comes in because now you're bringing God in picture. Are you with me so far? So far, you haven't brought the God in picture. You said, yes, energy is there and I want to use that whatever is given in humanity service, which means it's karma. I have to come back here. Punya or papa. Maximum I can go to Swarga Loka. Again, problem with Swarga Loka is I have to come back here. Why do I come back? Why do I get into the cycle of birth and death? That's the root problem we have to solve, Manaji. Unless we don't come to that conclusion, we will never come to the higher realms. And that's the point which I want to bring in. God has to be in picture to get out of that. And one has to understand why am I doing what am I doing. So even if I'm detached, I have to get the fruits of it. And that is why this higher power has to be known. We don't know and we want to tap into it. Why are we studying Bhagavad Gita? Not that because Krishna spoke to Arjuna. Hey, he spoke to Arjuna, what is in it for me? The whole life around us, what is in it for me? Bhagavad Gita is spoken for you and me specifically. And it is trying to teach me how can I get out of the cycle of birth and death. Now again, let's go one more level deeper. Sorry, don't want to take this words. I want to go deep. But that isn't it selfishness? I'm again thinking about what is in it for me. Let's go one more above. Can I give pleasure to Krishna? How can I give pleasure to Krishna? And that's why Vraja, Vrindavan is the highest place. Why? They don't care. What am I going to get out of it? How can I please Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? How can I serve God? You come to that paradigm where it is not about me, where everything is about God. And that is the platform I want all of you to come to. How can not only getting cycle of birth and death, how can I experience love? We all in the material world look for love. Like for an example, when all of a sudden I'm working hard in the kitchen, my son comes, Dad, here is a glass of water for you. It's love, it's a reciprocation. One thinks about, I want to do something. Doesn't it attract our heart? I just pause for 2 minutes and I really be grateful about that thought that I want to do this for you. Work, somebody come and give the glass to me. That's okay. I'm in a bar and somebody, a waitress or waiter, just gives me a. Why don't you feel that love there? Because that is out of the job, out of service, not on the devotional service. But same expression is changed. The same glass of water brings a different dimension here. And that is love I'm talking about. That is what we are looking for. And that's so close to our heart. That's our inner nature. Experiencing, exchanging that love. What is happening in today's world? We exchange that love with family, friends, everything. Sometimes things which are completely not reciprocative. And we get disappointed because that reciprocation is missing. Sometimes it is there, sometimes it's not there. Like I was coming, I had a work. I'll give you my personal example. I had a work till 5:30, 5:15. I had a meeting. I missed to cook. And my son had a game and he doesn't eat before going for the game. So I went with him on the game and he wanted to eat a certain thing. By the time I came at 7:30, he said, I want to eat that. I said, oh, that will take me an hour and 15 minutes for me to make it because I'm not super fast. You don't do like this. For a minute, I was just thrown apart because I was just working hard. I had a meeting. I just could not cook for him. And I wanted to do a stopgap. Oh, can I just make something which is so easy to make? Because what I'm looking for at that moment is the reciprocation of love, which I cannot get at every time. There is only one person in the entire cosmic manifestation who can fulfill your love expectation at all time without fail is Krishna. And that is what we want to tap into. So when you say higher power, let's be honest, it's Krishna. What's wrong? Right? I know our faith is not at that level, even mine is not there. I may be theoretically accepting Krishna as a supreme person. Even accepting theoretically will give you such a joy without your imagination. Yes.
I actually typed in Meta AI Llama 4. Is everything you said very well summarized. All the points are already added.
Please.
I actually looked at it. Would you mind if I just
Please.
quickly read it? It's pretty good actually. I asked what is service to God? Give some examples. Service to God can be understood as act of devotional worship and selflessness that demonstrate one's love, gratitude, and commitment to their faith and spiritual values. Here are some examples.
Hmm.
Prayer and meditation.
Hmm.
Regularly practicing prayer, meditation, or mindfulness to connect with God and seek guidance.
Hmm.
Second one, volunteering. Engaging in selfless service to others, such as helping the poor, sick, or
Which is what Mataji was bringing in.
serving as way to serve God through serving humanity.
Now I'll pause here and I'll talk. Again, coming back to this line Manav Seva, Madhav Seva. Madhav is Krishna's name. Where is it coming from? Go all 18 chapters, search every verse, not a single place. Krishna says, serving to humanity is serving God. Is that a service now? In my opinion, it is there. I would say when you drive on the highway, you drive at the speed of 85, the cop catches you. In my opinion, this road is empty, I can drive at speed of 85. Sir, government decides the opinion. Your opinion do not count when you use the government roads. Am I making sense? Will you argue on that? Oh, yeah, that is true. These laws are set up by God, not by humans like us. So when we talk about scriptures, there is no speculation in that one. There is no speculation. We can clarify those thoughts, but no speculation in terms of I bring in my own idea, think that this is the right way. And this is what happened on spirituality. And that's why spirituality is so diluted. Like you take a juice box, it says only 5% juice, 95% is water. Will you take it? No. What? There is no healthy thing in that one. And that's the point. And this is the point which I want to defeat here. Serving human is not serving God. Serving God is serving everyone. That's the point which I want to bring in. Mataji, when you are chanting this Krishna's name, do you think it only benefits you? It benefits everyone. Why? Because when you chant, you become a perfect person. When you go outside the world, you preach other people not by preaching, by your behavior, because it transformed your heart. One time, my spiritual master was there in Delhi airport. After the Vrindavan Yatra, he was sitting very tired, and an environment minister approached him. What are you doing for the welfare of the nature? What are you taking care of the river? You guys are sitting in the corner just meditating. What are you doing for the world? Can you tell me? Very interesting question, right? It may appear like, what are you doing as a spiritualist? What are you doing for whatever happening around? There is terrorism, there is so much chaos going on in so many aspects. What are we doing as a spiritualist? He said a beautiful line. He said, you will spend millions of dollars cleaning up these rivers, and again they will be polluted not more than a year. Why? Because the pollution is not in the river, pollution is in the heart of people. Until it is cleansed, they will come again and pollute it, throw that same plastic in the same water. Spirituality is there to clear up all that pollution which is there in heart. When you do that, you will do some big work for others without even people realizing what you're doing for the world. People don't need philosophy here, people need example. What am I being there? As a spiritualist, what kind of life I'm living, what kind of example I'm setting? It's not that I'm just sitting in the corner, I don't have nothing to do with the problems of this world. I pray for others. 192 rounds which we are doing, I was mentioning, you see all the devotees chanting. It may apparently look like I'm doing it for myself. No. When you chant, it purifies the ether without even you recognizing that. Ether is such a subtle thing. We are made of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. We know about that. The ether is the sky, the substance, and the thoughts around that area makes you change the whole perspective. So it's not something. So when you think about charity, even if you give to a beggar, what happens to him? He will again become a beggar. He will again search for food. You will feed him for one day. Why don't you take care of his soul so that he doesn't have to take the birth of a beggar? How do you make that happen? Now the question comes in is by giving him prasad. When you give prasad, that guy or that person got a prasad in next life, because on the power of the same food, whether it's a cookie or whether it's a sweet, apparently looks the same, but there is a huge difference, because this is prasad than the regular food. The consciousness changes. There was a person, I want to just end with this story because it's fire. There was a person, his name was Crazy Peter. He was so crazy, so crazy. He would pass in his pants. He didn't take bath for years. Same pant and t-shirt. He came in front of Prabhupada and the devotees, and he wanted to touch the feet of Prabhupada. They pushed him, get out. You're so unclean. Prabhupada said, no, let him come. Same person, rejected by government, rejected by everyone, took shelter of Prabhupada, mentally became stable, became a great preacher of Krishna consciousness. The cops in New York, they were struggling to take care of hippies. Prabhupada made them spiritualist. Without even police, they have given the award to Prabhupada. We were not able to do this. This is what spirituality does without even anybody's understanding. Because what is visible to ourselves, thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. What is visible to ourselves is just the gross life. There is much more subtler than what we can see, and that transforms your life. Tap into that one, and I'll tell you, the secret will be open. the treasure house, and you will see something much more sublime. And sharing based on experience, no philosophy here. So let's tap into that one. Let's grow on that platform where we want to connect to God. How can I please Him? How can I reach that attitude? And remember God in every aspect of life. I'm sorry, I just went on and on. I had a sincere desire to help. Hope you take it that way. Thank you. You want to add something, Roji?
No, I like the point you said. That, when we are in spirituality and we clean up ourselves, the way we behave outside is going to make an impact, and it's going to be positive. And everywhere we go, it
100%.
just makes it beautiful.
100%, bro.
Yeah. Each of us do that. It's a good word.
When you unpollute the ecology of your heart, when you clean it, it changes the ecology of outside world, because world is a reflection of our own consciousness. And our consciousness, when it purifies, this whole world becomes so beautiful. And then you will look for every opportunity. How can I serve?